It's live from Venice Beach, California, the veritable edge of Western civilization. Oh yes, yet again. Welcome to the show. This is episode number 39. That means tomorrow, well, probably not going to do it tomorrow because it's Saturday and it's hard to get on Saturday. I mean, it's hard to get bandwidth on Saturdays. So, anyway, today, isn't that a beautiful guy we got going on behind us? Thanks for being. What else is going on? Oh, I know. So this is the painting I did yesterday. And it was really funny. I painted the painting, and it wasn't until past, after the show, I realized when I was painting this painting that it was because in part because I shared the story of the white fig tree. It was shared with me by an Aboriginal gentleman met at the World Gathering in Australia in 2000. But another reason why I painted this painting is because somebody came by yesterday. I mean, I painted it's probably about 10 different trees in a year, but they were all like this. They're all like kind of like that, with an orange-yellow background. Varying degrees of leaves depending on what season of the year it is, right? But so there's a big one. I'm not going to point it out because it's wow.
Hi.
How you doing, girl?
Good. How are you?
Splendid, splendid.
What?
I said splendid.
Good.
Yes. Yeah. Totally forgot about this.
Very nice.
Yeah. Forgot to put up my nifty sign. See my sign? It shows backwards. Gives people a warning, says, hey, you don't want to be seen streaming. So, what ends it? Beautiful. So this guy comes by yesterday, and he looks at the larger, 20 by 24 version of that tree that I had, and he's like, oh, I like the tree, but I'd like it more if it was in blue. And I realized, I painted this whole series, and I don't have a blue one. So, hello.
Hi. It's so I love
Slow Friday.
very much.
Friday here, like, either people are buying or they're not. Either you're making money on Friday or you're not making any money at all. And today's one of those days where people aren't even, I think, maybe 5 people have stopped. And it used to really drive me crazy, but you know how after the stone keeps rolling down the hill,
Yep, I agree.
I should say, as the rock
It becomes
rolls down the hill, the longer the hill, the more edges get rubbed off until there's stone, and the stone becomes a pebble, and the pebble becomes sand, and the sand becomes dust.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. Yeah, that's.
I know that was a little profound.
One day you might not be able to.
I'm not going to charge you for that. Okay, that one's free, right off the cuff. Just so what was I blabbering about? Okay, yeah. So the guy says, I like that tree if it was blue and gray. I'm like,
I hear
right?
you. Okay.
He wanders off, and I'm like, well, I painted a tree with where I did, leaves on it and everything like that. So why don't I just paint the same painting, but with like, a blue background? My favorite, gradation blue and everything. And it's like, sure, I can do that. And so then an hour before the show, I happened to be having a conversation with somebody, and I told them the story of the white fig tree. And when that happened, hold up. Yep. It's are often a day for LAPD. Spend a lot of LAPD around because there have been horses and bicycles, and now we have regular foot patrolmen. We're usually cars. I've been sitting in a car a long time, and they're out wandering around and whatever they have fun. So anyway, the story of what I kind of rushed, and there's actually more to the story. So when I was at the gathering in Australia, there was an Aboriginal camp, and they had they had a tea house, a tea station, and served tea to everybody that came by, and I heard about it, and it was on the other side of the gathering from where I was, and I was lucky to have caught it the last day that they were at the gathering. They were supposed to be at the gathering. So I went there, and there's a man who was there, and they're taking down their camp and serving every, and so there's all this commotion going on and everything, but it's, well, it was 3:18, it was me, and in the course of conversation, he shared the story of White Fig Tree with me. Now, going into this, the entrance and the sign, the 3 laws, the 500 Aboriginal tribes in Australia, and they all recognize laws, and the laws are don't kill, don't steal, and don't be greedy. And that's was on the thing when I came into the gathering, and I was like, that's interesting. I didn't know that there was a whole tradition behind it, So this tells the story of the white tree. That once upon a time was this amazing tree called the white fig tree, and the fruit from this tree was so sweet and so sought after that the people fought over the tree. And when the Great Spirit saw the people fighting over the tree, he took the tree and he tossed it up into the night sky, and it became the Milky Way. And because the people had shown greed and behavior, he sent Berrigan, I guess you would call him one of the sons of God. He sent Berrigan to Yeah, there's a guy over here. I know. That's why I didn't set up over there. I was like, you know, I hope he doesn't get partial to this part of the beach, man. Good, good. Yeah, man. That's not good. Yeah, he's playing with airbrush, but with paint cans and.
I get scared of it. I don't move it. It's people.
Yeah, yeah.
Usually when I do it, I go inside.
Yeah.
These people, they don't.
Yeah.
Oh, I understand. Like a link.
So what happens is Berrigan is a Southern Cross, and if you ever see the Southern Cross, there's these two bright stars to the left of it, and those two stars are Alpha and Beta Centauri. And I think it's Alpha Centauri is a binary system, and the other star that is part of the Alpha Centauri star system is called Proxima Centauri, and that's the closest star to Earth. And it's I think it's only 4 light years away from the Earth. So it takes 4 years for light to reach us from that planet, from that star system, and it's literally the closest star to our solar system. And I know this because when I was a kid, there was this show, a science fiction show called Lost in Space, and you may have seen the movie. If you're as old as me, you saw the television show, and I'm a definite science fiction fan, and I was hoping the show would be more than what it ended up being. But it was supposed to be Robinson Crusoe in space, but it didn't end up that way. It's kind of a disappointment. But make a long story short, what they did, the original mission of this family, the Robinsons, with their spacecraft, which is a flying saucer called the Jupiter 2, was launched from Earth to go to Proxima Centauri. Because it was the closest star to Earth. They were supposed to explore that, and it never happened because they got lost in space. So, but I remember that from when I was a kid. Anyway, so the Southern Cross, Berrigan, and the two stars next to it. So if this is the Southern Cross right there, okay, then there are these other two stars that are next to it in the southern hemisphere that are really bright, and they're called the pointers, right? You line up the axis of the Southern Cross with these two stars, the line that they would pose, and where they cross is supposed to be right over the south celestial pole. And so anyway, he comes to Earth, and he with his companions, his two companions, and they teach the people, how to be civilized. And the way to be civilized is he institutes the 3 laws: don't kill, don't steal, and don't be greedy. So this gentleman, this Aboriginal gentleman, shares the story with me. And then a week later, he was back at the gathering around dinner time, and we happened to be standing next to one another. And I mean, this guy has got to be a good 30 yards away, and I'm getting wafts of his aerosol smell. And good for him, he's wearing a mask, a respirator, but anybody set up next to him can't be sitting next to him. So whatever. Love and life, love and life, love and life. Thank you. Hold it down. Hold it down. You in the back. Be quiet. So a week later, this Aboriginal gentleman is he was at the gathering again, and we were standing next to one another at the dinner circle, and you know, I was so impressed by, you know, just the stories that he shared with me before, that I was hoping that to hear anything that he said, you know, of you know, anything of substance. You know, I was just like hanging on his every word, you know. And he was a young man. He was probably at that time, he was probably in his 40s, and um, I just very. He knew some. You ever meet those people that you know they know something? He was definitely one of those. So um, so there was a young woman there standing with us as well, and I think she was in the same frame of mind. She wanted to hear whatever this person had to say, you know. And turns just kind of and he, he's already told us this story. You know, he just listened politely and not everything, and but at the end, it want to story of him telling another story. Yeah. Cool. Well, is it working? Yes, we have sound. We have sound. Yep, looks like it's working. All right, so just want to finish the story, and then perhaps we put some paint on some canvas. Yes. All right. So the Aboriginal gentleman, he tells us this story, the same story about Berrigan and the white fig tree and everything again. And once again, I didn't want to be rude or anything, but reminding him that he'd already shared that story and not knowing how many other people he'd shared it with or whatever, maybe he forgot, right? But at the end, he said, there are many kinds of greed, and one of the most grievous ones is what we would call spiritual greed. Where people want they want all the spiritual bells and whistles and everything, and they want them all now, and they want them all yesterday, and they like collect meditations and yoga positions and all this other stuff, and go to all the workshops, and without ever having any of this stuff actually touch them or reach them. It's more about acquisition than anything else, And I'm paraphrasing like crazy what he said, but that was in essence the point. He pointed out that the notion of spiritual greed, and when he said that, I also realized that maybe the other two, don't kill, don't steal, and don't be greedy, are also on that level of depth. So just putting that out there. So that's what I take along from the whole story of the white fig tree is whenever we seek something of a spiritual nature to make sure that when you actually arrive or attain that thing, that you allow it to land within us, allow it to emerge within us, allow it to do its full work on us, Hey, brother. And so, as opposed to reaching for the next shiny bauble because it's the next shiny bauble, So, anyway, perhaps it's time. Oh God! Perhaps it's time. This guy, hopefully, he's stopped painting with the aerosol cans, and we can all now breathe. Just taking a moment. I think it's time to paint. How's it going, brother? Hope it's good. Oh, geez. Are we still on? Ta-da! Problematic. There's a concept. Okay. So we got about 40%. It's a good thing because it's a small canvas.
He's probably
Love that sound. So I realized something today. I was listening to on Fridays in LA, Michael Beckwith, the Reverend over at the Agape Spiritual Center, has a radio show on KPFK from 1 until 2. And I try to catch it when I can. And today he was talking, it was an archive show, he was talking with Lisa Nichols, who is another person, both of those folks were in the movie The Secret. And he had her on promoting her book. I think the movie, I mean the show was originally recorded back in 2011. And anyway, one of the things that I got from that was I realized why I really enjoy not knowing what it is that I'm going to paint before I start. And also, it's this. Oh, that's what that is. Okay. And why, for years, there's certain things that there are moments when I'm pushing myself or beyond what I feel comfortable with, rendering or drawing or whatever. Why I like that part too. I mean, why it makes you feel uncomfortable, and the whole point of it is because it causes me to go beyond my ego. And when you make your ego uncomfortable, you're probably heading in the right direction, right? It's like when you're embarrassing yourself. The sense of embarrassment is when the ego feels threatened. And when I don't know what I'm going to paint, then I'm definitely in the area where the ego doesn't. And I'm not one of those people that believes in ego bashing or anything like that, but it serves a purpose. But I recognize that ego isn't the one that paints, and I really like the fact that the great mystery is the one that paints. So I'm giving it up to the great mystery. Woo. Head on a swivel. Keeping an eye on everything in my little universe. So once again, I use this watercolor technique, and it does a couple of things. One, it helps the spraying all this water on there. It saturates the canvas with water, and it makes the canvas bind to the wood, and then it also prepares, makes it so that with the push pins, the tension of the push pins, it pulls out any wrinkles that are in the canvas. And the third thing is it makes it so that I can paint on this like I would with watercolor. Hey, brother. What's that? All right. Time for new paint bottles, that's for damn sure. Hello.
Thank you. Good night.
Okay, that's it. That's what all I was going to do. See ya.
Just kidding.
But seriously, I don't know what to do now. But this is where it gets interesting because something's going to happen. Besides the itsy bitsy spider guy going by. Reminded of this movie Amistad, right? I don't know if you saw it or whatever, but there's this really interesting moment. Anthony Hopkins plays John Quincy Adams, who at that point in his career, he had already been the president of the United States, and he was actually hired by Morgan Freeman's character or hired, begged is more like it, for him to take the case of the Amistad independence. They were, stolen from Africa, and they mutinied on it. They took over a ship, and the ship was brought into port in the United States. And I guess this was like the 1820s or something. And there's this scene where Morgan Freeman goes into John Quincy Adams' office, and he asks him to take on the case to help plead the case of these prisoners in front of the Supreme Court. And John Quincy Adams says, "Oh, well, what's their story, you know? And Freeman goes like, what do you mean? What's his story? He says, well, everybody has a story. And then he relates with this guy. He breaks down what this Morgan Freeman's character's story is. It's like everybody has a story, no matter what we think about them and what our interaction is with them. Everybody has a motivation, and what I like to do is to try to think of people as immortals. You know, think of them as you know, no matter what kind of turd they're being, you know, to just try to remember that even if somebody's being a jerk to me, you know, on the core level, they're immortal. It's a fun game, you know, the idea that everybody's an angel, everybody's a divine messenger. And, you know, especially if somebody's getting under your skin, you know, the universe is using them to remind you of something, you know. So the question is, what is it that the universe wants you to know? Anyway, we got 22%, and this is almost getting to the point where it could actually be messed with. Okay.
Hey, is this all yours?
Yeah, very simple. No, not everyone likes usually. Yeah. Really?
Camera's right there.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, no.
Actually, you're on camera. You're not on
It's okay. Looking good.
camera. Looking good, man. Yeah.
I know.
We got low battery, 7%. Well, looks like I'm not going to finish this well on screen. So I'll post whatever I get done today on the Facebook page. And once again, probably not going to broadcast tomorrow because it's Saturday and it's really hard to get bandwidth here on the beach on a Saturday because there's so many people here. But and Sunday's iffy too, but I'll definitely be doing that on Monday when the crowd thins out, so to speak. So that doesn't look too bad. Wow. Let's see how it looks to you. Something like that. That's about 20 minutes before the moonset comes on.
Oh, really?
Thank you. And you see how you can see the texture of the canvas in there?
Yeah.
The original was about the same size.
No, dude, that's just so small.
You talking to me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. One sec.
No. emotions.